Rockstar Games might have just confirmed that another Grand Theft Auto 6 leak is real. We'll be talking about what's going on and more all in this video today. And this really stems from an article that came out late last week. It was the ongoing battle of the fired GTA 6 employees versus Rockstar Games. And in an article on IGN, Rockstar Games actually made this statement. They said Rockstar Games has pointed to its well-established zero-tolerance approach to leaks, highlighting that it dismissed a Rockstar employee in Lincoln, United Kingdom in April 2025 who had alleged disclosed confidential information about GTA 6 to a third party who published the information to social media, and dismissed an employee in the US in November 2023 and another in India for November 2025 for separate acts of information leaking. And in a video I did the other day, we covered what was very likely those April 2025 leaks stemming from an employee in the United Kingdom. And in today's video, we'll be taking a look at what is likely the leak that caused the US employee to be fired in November 2023. So on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, someone posted the other day, potential GTA 6 plot leak. They mentioned the recent IGN article about Rockstar dismissing employees for leaking information and that one of them was fired back in November 2023. Going on to say that just a month before that happened, someone made a post here claiming to know plot details, and it has a pretty good chance of being real. So let's take a look at the post. You can see the person that posted it ended up deleting their account. It was made over 2 years ago. It was made in October 2023. So this would be about a month before they were fired, which would make sense from a timeline perspective. It goes on to say this. First of all, this thread contains spoilers. So if you're not willing to receive any spoilers, I suggest you not continue reading this thread. I posted this thread originally on the GTA 6 subreddit, but moderators insist on deleting it for some reason without reaching out to say why. I won't be able to give my source of this information. I completely understand everyone who's skeptical, and I'm not just one more of those a friend of a friend told me about this. Believe me or not, I have a reliable source that worked on the game. I'm not asking you to blindly believe what I say. All I ask is that you please have some patience and wait until the teaser trailer gets released, as it will likely confirm the information I will provide on this thread. Also, please take everything I say on this thread with a grain of salt, as the game is still under development. The information I'll provide here might have a chance to change over time. I strongly suggest you set reminders to check this thread again in the future. Without further ado, let's get into it. So it's important to note that in October 2023, this would have not only been before Grand Theft Auto 6's first trailer, but it also would have been before Rockstar even announced when the trailer was going to be coming out. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, under plot it says, I was surprised by my source when I was told that Lucia has a baby that she abandons at a delicatessen before heading out to a bank robbery and then getting arrested for doing such an act. It is not known if the baby was a boy or girl, and obviously there will be no kids in the game. This only happens in a cutscene as a flashback of the past. I have no information about what happens to this baby after this point. After a few years, Lucia gets released on probation. She's picked up at the prison by Jason, who's planning a robbery with her, and they fall in love with each other after some time. The majority of the planning for missions takes place at a nightclub called Vault. In the very first mission of the game, you control Jason and you have to follow a plane that's about to land and carries a Russian drug dealer. Apparently, Jason meets this guy and starts to plan a mission to steal drugs, and in this mission, stealing drugs, they are chased by the police and the drugs end up falling into the ocean. There's a following mission where they have to dive to retrieve it. So that's the section of the plot. Let's dive into the mechanics. There's a new mechanic for detecting threats and valuable items around you. This is not a special ability like Franklin's ability to drive cars with a special handling. This is a new mechanic that seems to be somewhat inspired by the Deadeye targeting from Red Dead Redemption 2, and this mechanic is revealed in the Hank's Waffles dining robbery present in the leaked videos. Rockstar has also been focusing on the detailed mechanics of searching places. This one also seems to be inspired by a mechanic from Red Dead Redemption 2. That's all I can reveal now for you guys. Again, please come back to this thread when the game released after Rockstar Games releases a teaser trailer, as it will potentially include some of the information I'd said here. See you again soon. Now, we don't know if there's any more follow-up because, again, that individual deleted their account, but let's go ahead and get into it. The first big thing they say is that Lucia has a baby at the beginning of the story and that she abandons it at a delicatessen. which I actually had to look up what that is. It's basically just a deli. So like imagine going into like a deli to get like a sandwich or something like that. That's where she leaves the kid before going out to do a bank robbery and then getting arrested for such act. I don't think in any of the trailers we've seen that happen. Now obviously that's a huge spoiler to the story, so I can understand why Rockstar hasn't shown that off, but we don't see Lucia doing anything of a solo robbery or getting arrested, and we haven't heard about her baby. We just see her in prison in multiple of the trailers and in several of the screenshots that Rockstar put out. And even in the description that Rockstar Games gave for Lucia, we didn't get any mention of a baby. This is only what we have so far. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life's been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Lucia learned her lesson. Only smart moves from here. So I guess it does mention family, but I don't know if that necessarily means she had a daughter. It also goes on to say, more than anything, Lucia wants the good life her mom has dreamed of since their days in Liberty City, but instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters into her own hands. So again, I don't know if that necessarily has to do with a baby, but you could see how that could be true. And it seems like if this is in the game, this is going to be the, chapter 1 where, the gang is stuck up in the mountains, or this is the North Yankton scene from GTA 5. Now, if this is true, this could go in so many different ways. Is the baby or the kid just going to be for storytelling purposes? Are they going to appear in cutscenes? If there is some time gap going forward, is the kid going to be old enough to have an actual impact in the story where they're more than a kid and they're actually an adult? I don't know if we'll know the answer to that, but they actually do get a couple of other things right. Lucia getting released on probation, picked up at the prison by Jason, which we actually see in trailer number 2, who's planning a robbery with her, and they do end up falling in love with each other after some time, which we saw quite a bit of happening during trailer number 2. Now, one thing we did not see was the missions taking place at a nightclub called Vault. We saw plenty of nightclubs in both the first and the second trailer, but Vault was not one of them. That, of course, could very easily be changed, especially because, again, this information came out in October 2023. Now, they described the first mission of the game, and this kind of gives us some plot details on how things are going to work. Jason is obviously working with a Russian drug cartel. It sounds like he wants to double cross the guy and steal the drugs for themselves, but the drugs end up falling into the ocean. And there's a mission in the game further in which you have to retrieve it. So that's interesting. I wonder if that will be the villain or the bad guy in this whole story. I tried to go back and look for various instances of planes maybe being, drug smuggling jets. I didn't see a ton that suggested that would be the case, but I think Rockstar's probably trying to save a ton of plot spoilers in the trailer, so it's not surprising that we didn't see that. And then, of course, they talk about some of the mechanics. The mechanics I'm less interested in because those have the ability to change much more easily. But basically, it's just a lot of things coming over from Red Dead Redemption 2, like the ability to detect threats and items around you. I think all that stuff is sort of inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2. This shouldn't be a shock. That's what the game is going to be built on. But I find this to be very, very interesting. It's really hilarious to see old leaks that turned out to be true, but got wrecked by the comments in real time. And we've seen stuff like this actually happen on sites like Reddit and 4chan, where legitimate Rockstar leaks have come about. And in their time, people said, no way that's true. But when we know more information, like what we do now with the first and second trailer, we can actually go back and say, okay, maybe that was real. And especially when Rockstar themselves even give us an exact timeline of when someone was fired for leaking information, it's pretty easy to go back and say, okay, that might actually be real. So obviously take this with a huge grain of salt, but I do think we could be onto something here based on the things they said and how it came true in the screenshots, trailers 1 and 2, but also now Rockstar Games giving us sort of a timeline of when this occurred. So let me know what you think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.